anything. All right, you ready?
You're live.
Right now?
Mm-hmm. We ready right now.
Yeah.
All I know is this violates every canon of respectable broadcasting.
How are you?
Hey, who wants to help me get this recorder out of here? I need some muscle over here.
You are listening to Blame Your Brother.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Blame Your Brother. This is episode 137. We are back once again, spirited pre-show, and we are here, though, to deliver an amazing real show for you. This is Blame Your Brother. Check us out every Thursday night at blameyourbrother.tv. Check us out on Facebook Live, Periscope, and YouTube. Come hang out with us. But if you missed that, you can check out the show every Friday on all podcast platforms. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Google Play, you name it, we're there, we're doing it. And there are three of us that come to you every week. I am 1/3 of that trio. I am David, a.k.a. D-Brew, voice of the people, Mr. 40%, the Dream Killer, and Mr. Wrestlemania. And I am joined by this man who sits to the left of me. It's my brother. It's Lee.
What up, everyone? It is Paul the Saul, the shepherd of the millennials, the one and only LeBron Safety Pin.
And then we have this man who sits over here to the right of me. The man almost needs no introduction, but we'll do it anyway. It's John.
Hailing from Nashville, Tennessee, weighing in at 195 pounds.
La.
I wish. The Action Man.
They got John Tortorella,
The Madman.
You are a madman tonight. All right, so that's us three, David, Lee, John. We're going to bring to you many topics tonight, talk about ourselves, so strap in, have a good time, and we start the show every week the same way. We offer this part of the show, the beginning, for apologies, retractions, omissions. What did we get wrong? What are we sorry we said? And we'll start with the guy who puts his foot in his mouth constantly. Lee, you got anything to apologize for?
I mean, if we're starting with you, go ahead.
No, I said you. I said
No,
Lee.
you. I said
I don't know how
you.
it works, but when I
said the guy who's putting his foot in his mouth,
I said
that
Lee.
would be David.
I said Lee.
That would be David.
Well, go ahead.
No, you. Go ahead.
Do you have any,
you first.
No, I'm good.
Right.
Do you have anything to apologize for?
Yes, I do. I have
Okay,
to apologize for John. I went a little too hard last week on the TV mounting and the carpet cleaning, so my apologies to John.
Go back and listen to the episode 136 about how John's, and we're going to get an update on that. John's nephew.
That's what I'm saying. We just need the update now.
But he pissed all on his carpet, and it was unfortunate. Okay, John, anything you need to apologize for?
No, not on the show. I don't think so.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Well, let's get going then. Last week, we talked about John, your nephew. He just peed all on your carpet.
Yes.
You didn't know about it for a couple of days, and now it's, you were going to get it cleaned as we left the show. Give us an update on the pissing situation. Pissgate.
The Pissgate. Still no luck. There's still a scent. We've tried extra things on top of that. We even scrubbed like baking soda into the carpet. And that actually worked for a couple of days. And then now it's back to the way it smelled before, and so it looks like we're gonna have to replace the carpet and the padding.
Oh, damn!
Have you tried thoughts and prayers yet?
Constantly.
No, didn't work, did it? Never does.
Work.
Never does.
The answer I got was replace the carpet.
Wow, you got.
Oh,
is that Jesus talking to you?
Whoa.
I don't know what it was.
I want to hear more of that.
On.
I don't know what it was.
Now, if you don't know. We asked John one week about God. We needed, me and Lee being heathens that we are, we needed to know more about this God character, right? We needed to know more about what did he look like? What was he like? So from John's determination, God is
married,
biracial, about 5'9", give or take a little bit, attractive wife. So what accent or voice, what is going on with God?
Because you heard it to us.
Well, I want to hear his description of what that accent was, because we heard his Australian accent or Austrian accent.
Really,
I don't even know what it was. I think it was Australian acting as Austrian. But all right, so John, what does God sound like?
It depends on who's hearing him.
Oh, so he's like a
voice actor.
He's a puppet guy.
He's a puppet guy.
Can he throw his voice or not?
Yeah, he could do that.
So he's a ventriloquist. I mean, if you can throw your voice, you're a ventriloquist, pretty much.
Not necessarily.
He's more.
I think you have to be able to talk without moving your lips.
Oh, he's like
well.
Frank Caliendo. Is that guy's name? Who does all those impersonations?
Maybe a Hightower from.
It's that Hightower.
Who am I talking about? Yeah, you know Frank
Jones that does.
Jones, sorry,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Wait.
Police Academy. That's what
Yeah.
it is. My knowledge of Police
There you
Academy
go.
has faded
All
over
right,
time.
It's the Jones Bones or whoever.
Jones.
You know who Frank Caliendo is?
Yeah.
Okay.
He
making sure.
does his big thing is Madden.
Yeah, and George Bush. And,
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So God can throw his voice around. He can sound any way he wants.
Yeah.
What's?
Sure.
I mean, Jesus came down to earth at one point and he became a carpenter. Okay. So if God came back down with all the skill set you've given him, what do you think a great job would be for God if he came
Instagram
back the second
influencer
time?
for sure.
That would be really good.
Yeah, there you go.
But I just think the skill set you gave, he sounds like he's holding a puppet and he's like talking to him. You said he can change his voice. So he'd be like a stand-up comic.
I mean, for some of the people that he's created, he's got to have a sense of humor.
But
So yeah,
Don't.
well, that's a notch against you, John. You're gonna have to explain that one at the pearly gates one day.
All right.
He's gonna be all like, "You think I'm a comedian? You think I'm funny?"
I'll point at my own looks and be like, "Yeah, you created this."
Oh.
Digging it deeper.
Okay, let's get back to Pissgate. So you're gonna have to replace the carpet.
Okay, I got one. You're in luck. I know a carpet guy.
Okay, so Jesus.
You're in. Never mind. Never mind.
I thought you were talking about Jesus.
You're in luck.
You're in luck. Jesus.
You're in.
Is a carpenter.
You're in
of carpets.
luck.
He's
Gotcha.
a carpet
Yeah.
inner.
He's like, he's a carpenter. That's carpet. All right, we got a situation we want to give to you. The nephew comes back over. Don't laugh yet. The nephew comes back over,
Oh wait, he's never allowed back in the house, right?
but he comes.
Yeah.
No, but you're like, I'm gonna give you another chance, kid. He's a kid. I mean, whatever you think about him. Yeah, all the things you said.
He's
about him.
like
still
17.
a child, okay?
Yeah, he grows. You give him like 4 years.
All right.
17.
No, he's 12, right? So let's say he comes back in 3 months. And you walk out into the living room, you're all sitting there, you're watching TV, you look, he's got his pants down, he looks at you, goes, "Hey, Uncle John."
No. This one's for you.
Yeah, this one's for you. It just starts peeing all on the carpet. What would you do?
I told you guys before the show I would tackle him to the ground
Oh my God.
and rub his nose in it.
Oh my God. Lee,
I mean, that's child abuse, right?
that's pretty much
He's
true.
not my child.
Now, that
my
makes it okay.
John.
Okay, I wish we still did the keys. That would be the keys. It's not child abuse if it's not your child.
That's a good one. Write that shit down, dude. Okay, John. There's no way that's true. You would take this child and treat him like a dog. I mean, you're describing what you do to a dog if they like pee on the carpet, like you rub their nose. And
If he's going to act like a dog, acts like a duck, walks like a duck.
like,
What, you gonna bring out the food bowl and pour some kibble in it?
oh no.
Get a shot collar and you see him reaching for his zipper, you just buzz him?
sorry.
That'd be great.
What if someone did that to your kid? What if you came in and someone had your child's face down in some pee-pee carpet, rubbing their face in it? What would you do?
I'd say, why are you holding my kid down like that? When they said because they peed on my carpet and they're 12 years old.
You'd be like, "Let me help."
Yes.
Let me
Oh
help.
man. I'm sorry, but this is wild to me.
It's ridiculous,
I
for
think
sure.
this is some stuff early David would have said way early in the
Yeah.
program just to be controversial. But John, you actually mean it, right? Like you're not joking.
No, I'm not.
So I think you need to have a little bit of more grace in your life for a 12-year-old. Like, I keep trying to convince you
The
to
fact that he's still breathing right now is quite a bit of grace.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Wow. Okay, well,
Oh my God! What?
I'm going to write that down as an apology for you next week, I guess. Just go ahead.
Brother, man,
Where do we go from here?
Do
we
you
just-
know? Do you know what you're saying right now?
That was a joke, obviously. I'm not going
Okay.
to kill him. I mean, but the fact that he has received zero retribution from me. As of yet.
But it's not your place to discipline the child. I mean, it's not. You would not want someone doing that to your child, whether he did it or not. Like I would kill someone if they did that to my kid. I'm just saying, like I don't know, I would murder them, but I would hurt them really bad if I walked in and some dude had my kid facing the carpet. He's dead. I mean, all.
So
but-
what would you do if your kid went over to John's house and peed on the carpet? How would that go
I mean,
down?
number one, I would say, well, we got to pay for this. Number one.
Okay.
And then the child
And
would.
it just end at that.
No, there would be punishment for my child. For
What would
me.
you do? What would be the punishment?
I would remove everything he enjoys in life. I'm talking like.
in life you enjoy.
I mean, he loves video games. Like,
what if he started smearing poop on your walls?
then we'd go to a therapist probably because there'd be something a little bit deeper going on there. But yeah, I would take away his video games, TV, tech. I would go. You are in prison
Your
for a long
clothes.
time.
Just put them in
I'm with you.
sackcloth.
Every dollar you get, I like the idea you said off the show. Every dollar you get will be going back to paying me. You know, I'm going to write it down. You're going to pay me back however much the carpet would be. If it's $500, you're going to pay me back $500 to the T.
With interest.
With interest, yeah. And you will, you know, you may be able to walk out of this house when you're 16. I don't know. My kid's only 10. So, yeah, I would be very upset. You know,
how long do you think that would go on before you started restoring some of the, if
I saw in his eyes, in his heart, as you can see in kids, you know when they're.
What if it was like half, you know,
and he
sometimes
walk
no.
the line, son.
Really? You would just keep it all the way?
Yeah. I mean, I would
go to school, come home, do your homework. I mean, into solitary.
He could come down and talk to us and things, but he wouldn't be doing any of the things that he really like. He loves video games, so to take that away would destroy.
How long do you think it would take? Like a week, a day?
No, it'd take
hours,
a couple months for me. It wouldn't be no day.
No. Oh, so even if he was miserable, you would just keep.
He needs to be miserable, especially if you're costing me that much money out of pocket. I mean, we got to think about that. It's disrespectful to the person. It's disrespectful to whoever has to, you know, carry the financial burden. It's just ridiculous.
So did we ever get an update on why he did it?
No, it's he's still telling lies about it. One of the excuses he gave was he said he didn't want to wake us up by using the bathroom downstairs.
Huh.
Probably true.
No, that's not true.
It's not true because you guys were awake when it happened, right?
I don't know if I was awake or not, but
gotcha,
I mean, Emily's pretty much keeping us up.
Yeah, right. I hear you.
Constantly anyway, number one. And number two, our bedroom's upstairs. We wouldn't hear him if he was using the bathroom.
Yeah.
So I mean,
you're trying to put too much of your own logical beliefs in a 12-year-old here. You got to really be empathetic and put yourself in.
I can't fathom. There's certain situations you can't fathom.
I mean, you can't. That's for
you
sure.
can fathom every situation. Is this what you're saying?
Maybe a 12-year-old, you know.
So some
I'm not going to try to murder them.
40-year-old man going around and touching little kids. You can put yourself in his shoes.
I can try.
You can.
Honestly, it's a sick person with a mental disorder, right?
I think you hit the nail on the head.
But I do see something in the chat that's alarming, and it says from your wife, so we know it's pretty much factual. John has practically raised these boys. So then the burden goes back to John because you didn't do your job right. I'm just going what you said. Practically raised these boys.
Practically, as in
Daddy
I did
tried.
everything I could.
Daddy tried.
But he's not. He doesn't live in my house constantly, so.
All right.
There's only so
I would
much
just
you
like
can
to
do.
see you have more proactive solutions other than I want to rub this dude's face in the carpet. I want to murder him. I would just like to see as an educational experience. And yeah, you're out some bread. I mean, that's a foreign drawn conclusion. Yeah, you've had to waste a lot of time and effort, but you know, there's still hope for this child.
I mean, the thing is if I knew the answer, if I knew what was really ticking behind this kid's eyes.
You haven't even tried anything.
I have.
What have you tried? Nothing.
But everything he says is a lie. And so if you can't get to the truth, then you can't fix something. If you take your car to a mechanic because you got a flat tire, but they never look at the flat tire because you're telling them that it's a gas leak, and you tell them don't look at the tires.
You're pretty dumb if you didn't know the tire was flat, though.
I don't know. I'm not good at coming up with stuff.
Your analogies are really
bad. John, you know violence against children is bad for them, right? At any age, violence against anyone.
I wouldn't tackle them hard. I mean, tackle them
soft tackle.
You wrestle with your kids,
John,
correct? Do you wrestle with your kids?
I do not take my kids' heads and put it in pee on the carpet and rub it in there. No, I would never, ever, 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 ever do that.
Okay. Say it was the second offense in your own house.
My kids?
Your kids.
I mean, we would have, like I say, I would schedule some kind of therapy.
You would, okay, but I can't schedule therapy for this kid.
Okay.
I can't do that because he's not my son.
Then so you're asking if it was not my kid, what would I do? I would tell the parent, you will be paying for this carpet because this is your responsibility. If a kid came out and vandalized my car, I would not punch him in the face and rub his face in the glass on the ground.
You might.
I would go to his parents and I'd go, you're going to pay for this. That's it. I'm done. I'm not. The kid is out of my life. You're right. I can't do anything with your kid, but you will pay me for what's happened to the car. That's how I look at it. I can't. You're right. You can't raise another person's kids. You know, unless you get them foster care or they're adopted to you. They're not your problem.
But the thing is like, Becky, my sister, this is the kid's mom, she would look at me and say, what do you want to do about this?
Yeah, okay. I'd say you need to pay me back.
No, I mean, like,
Yeah, that's
even
the
the
point.
second time. I mean,
Everyone's
still-
pointing at each other. What do you want to do about this?
you.
What do
I
you
go,
want to
well,
do?
here's
about
what you need to do. You're the mother of these children, right? You need to figure out a plan. You've raised them for at least 12. Well, I mean, it's 12. You've raised this kid for 12 years. I hope you have it figured out by now. And if not, you need some classes or parenting help or something. But I can't help you if you don't know how to discipline your kids after 12 years.
When Robin has said that exact same thing, and she just had a fit on Robin, cussing Robin out.
Well, she'd been out of my house, number one. I mean,
Well,
you're asking
that
what
exchange happened over the phone.
If my
but-
sister came out and cussed my wife, she would be booted from my house immediately. I would go, you're out and don't come back until you apologize. That's ridiculous. You can't allow that, John. You can't let somebody.
It was over the phone. You can't kick her out over the phone.
Hang up. That's crazy. That she's disrespectful. Like, who does that? You know, that's wild. Oh, well.
Where does the child get it from? Where?
There we go.
I mean, why are we even going on about this? Cut your losses at this point.
So, there we go. So, Pissgate continues. You haven't
Yeah.
gotten the carpet fixed. It smells great. What have you done to chase the smell out? Or is it
He
still
already
there?
told us baking soda, carpet
I mean, that
cleaning,
kind of worked temporary.
That worked for about 3 days.
But it's still there today, right?
tomato juice.
What?
The smell?
Yeah.
So what are you doing? Or just living with it?
We're just not going in that room.
Oh,
They got a bunch of those little pine trees.
there you go.
Air fresheners.
Car
Yeah.
air fresh. That's good.
Like
that's,
in 7, you know.
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right.
Just hanging from the sun.
All right. So anything else happened this week besides that?
No.
Okay. Yeah, wonderful. Lee, how was your week?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's Nashville Comedy Week. I don't know if you guys were aware of that. A lot of comedy shows going on. Looking forward. I think I'm going to actually go to one Friday. It's supposed to be a pretty big one. But I saw the best. Well, probably I just saw an awesome concert. It was sponsored by Lightning 100, which is a local indie. I don't know what you call it.
radio
Indie
show,
alternative rock
Okay.
FM station. But it was the Minx with Ron Gallo. Have you heard of these people before?
You've told me of them.
Yeah.
Okay, it was like old school punk show, man. They had like a metal barrier up, you know.
Is it a female singer?
The Minxes, yes. But they had
I've seen them.
they had a metal barrier up, and at the end of the show, it was bent at like a 45-degree angle. There was like a huge pit in the middle of Ron Gallo's floor, you know, like people old school moshing and stuff.
Yeah.
And then like
Did you get out there?
I ran away from the mosh pit. I'm a little too old for that. Learned my lessons. But I will say like the announcer for the radio station came out, you know, she does like an intro and outro where she thanks the sponsors. She came out at the end and was trying to do the outro. The crowd was like, nope.
Why?
Just started getting louder and louder, like cheering for an encore. And like the lady kept trying. Finally, like the band had to come back out and was like, wow, I've never seen that before. I love you, Nashville.
Now, was the guitar player a Filipino man?
I don't believe so.
Okay. I believe
Maybe it was.
Andy-
We've had this talk before.
Andy Aquino was the guitar player in Minx a long time ago. And this was one of my enemies of youth.
Oh, it could have been. Could have been. They've had a lot of guitar players.
Rusty
over there.
probably knows the other guy. I think Aljon used to be in that band or had something to do with
Yeah.
it.
Well, it's pretty funny how all the bands are connected because Ron Gallo used to be the guitar player in the Minx, and now they're doing the show together or whatever. But I will say, Nashville is a very cool town for music. Like, you know, you hear that, but then sometimes you think it's not.
Yeah.
We were talking about Joan Osborne the other day. You know, she's in town doing a show. She's got a new album out, and it's Bob Dylan covers the music of Bob Dylan.
Awesome.
I don't know if we've ever talked about Bob Dylan, so I wanted to get your opinion of Bob Dylan.
Probably one of the greatest. I'm sorry, Dave.
Go ahead. Well, I just want to say what's crazy. We got to talk about this, and I swear on my life it's true. So last week before we came in, Lee puts lyrics up on the bottom of the screen where we can, you know, well, I don't know, just to entertain the pre-show or whatever. And I was listening to Fat Lip as I walked in to record the podcast, and the lyrics on the screen were Fat Lip. Today, before I left the house, I listened to 2 songs. Both were Bob Dylan tunes.
Okay.
So, Just Like a Woman and what was the other one? Tangled Up in Blue.
Tangled Up in Blue is a really
John,
good
go ahead. What do
song.
you think about Bob Dylan? Then
I think he's one of the greatest songwriters in American history.
Okay.
Just a lot of good songs and covered quite a bit. I mean, I've never been a fan of his voice, but I
Right.
mean,
What is wrong with his voice? I don't understand. Everyone always goes after the man's voice. I mean, granted, you're the third best singer in Nashville. We know that
True,
to be
yeah,
fact.
true, yeah.
Here we go.
So, the bar is high for you particularly. What is wrong with Bob Dylan's voice?
I mean, to me, it doesn't. The words tell the story more than his voice does. I think a song should tell a story, and there should be emotion. And I don't.
He has a huge amount of, I don't know. I've covered Bob Dylan songs, and his cadence and the way he sings definitely has a lot of emotion to it. It's not sing-songy, for sure, but it's not like he's not singing either. People always say that.
Yeah, they do.
I've never had, like, in his later days, maybe it got a little raspy, maybe, but even that was kind of cool.
I don't know. I've always liked singers that were a little bit unorthodox. I mean, Jack White's not exactly, your ideal rock singer, but I like Jack White's voice. I've always liked people can sing. I mean, I love Bob Dylan. I mean, a lot. My son's middle name is Dylan.
Right.
Inspired by Bob Dylan. Like you say, I mean, he's the American songwriter. He's the guy that took the Beatles to the next level. Without Dylan, there's
Why
no
do
Beatles.
people like John always crap on him?
Like I said, people like John like polished music,
yeah.
Matchbox 20 or
That's not polished,
but
okay.
Well, I mean-
it is polished. It's polished pop, and it's
Well,
and
my
it's
thing
vocals.
is like my favorite band, the singer. I'm not a big fan of the singer
Who?
of his tone.
Who?
Counting Crows, Adam
Okay.
Duritz.
Okay,
And so I mean,
that's odd.
I'm not crapping
It is
on.
very odd for John to say
I'm
that.
not crapping on him just because of his voice.
You're
I mean,
just
I'm just
peeing
saying.
on him.
I'm saying despite the tone of his voice, which is doesn't sound the nicest.
I think
his songs are still
fine.
amazing.
I don't understand what. That's what I don't understand when people say Bob Dylan doesn't have a nice voice. I don't see it. Like it's like if you want to hear a bad singer, I can sing something for you, and then you can say that was bad. But you can't say Bob Dylan was a bad singer.
He wants the typical singer, I'm not joking when I say like a Rob Thomas or like who's some other people you like name besides the Counting Crows. Who are some bands you like? I mean,
Edwin
Goo Goo
Kane.
Dolls.
Goo Goo Dolls. that's
Edwin
okay.
McCain, yeah, I like
See,
Edwin.
so he just likes the more polished. Is there a certain tone to Bob Dylan's voice? Of course there is, but I like it. I think it adds to his music, but John's not the only person in the world that doesn't think Bob Dylan.
I know.
Sing.
That's why I wanted to bring it up. 'Cause
I used to wear a shirt when we played on stage together, and it said Bob Dylan is my vocal coach, and it had a picture of Bob Dylan on it. So I hear you, John. I mean, I love good singers, but I like more unorthodox singers as well. So that's just me.
So I'm super excited because 420 coming up, not this weekend, but the next.
Yeah, bro.
I'm going to the Ryman Auditorium to
Smoke some
see
bud, bro.
to see Todd Snyder,
Smoke bud.
who is
bro.
considered like the modern day Bob Dylan, talkie blues, and he's playing with John Carter Cash.
Okay.
Todd Snyder just released a new album. I don't know if you've heard it. It's excellent. If
Nope.
not, you should go check it out. Cash Sessions Volume 4.
Not really a fan, but
You're not a fan of Todd Snyder?
not really.
Wow, you should check out this new album. It's good.
I probably won't enjoy it, but anyway. So you were saying, what do you think about Bob Dylan?
Oh, me, I love Bob Dylan.
Okay.
I think, like you said, like he's so influential. All the music, like you see all these great songs, and you're like, oh, like Bob Dylan wrote that. You're like, wow.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, I wish Bob Dylan would just have done it himself because it would have been better.
Now, here's the thing I will say about that. A lot of the time the covers are, and I'll give John some credence here, because I'm not on record saying he's a great singer. Okay, I'm just being real with it. But a lot of the covers that people do of his songs are better than sometimes not his big time songs, but like White Stripes did One More Cup of Coffee for the Road. I mean, the version smokes theirs. And there's other, God, I can't think of another. There's some pop, like 90s band that did, anyways, there's a bunch of his covers. If you looked it up, a lot of them are really good when done by other people. So, I mean, it just shows he's a great songwriter. Like I say, he wrote great melodies. And I don't think he was monotone. I think he, sang with what he could. And I think that was kind of the disaffected tone he was going for sometimes too. So, I love him. Yeah, I mean, I can't, like I said, I named a kid after him. So, hopefully I like him.
There you go.
So,
Vocal coach number 1.
there you go.
What about you, Mr. David?
This week, not much. Voted today. Did my American duty. We voted for the aldermans in Spring Hill, which is like the council people anywhere
That
else.
sounds horrible.
Do you vote?
You have aldermans?
We're a
In
small city.
Spring Hill?
Yeah, we're a small city. We
An
don't have
alderman?
we don't have like 32 council members like Nashville. We have like aldermen because it's a smaller city. Have you ever voted for a council person, Lee? Have you gone to vote for
Yes,
council people?
I have.
Who did you vote for? Which council
I can't
person?
remember, man.
Interesting. John, have you ever voted specifically for a council person?
Not specifically.
Tell
I've
me
voted for
every-
them when I've run, when I've done
yeah.
the presidential vote or for the
Okay,
governor's vote.
A-hole, tell me every council member you have ever voted for.
I never did in Nashville, but I voted every time in Spring Hill.
All right,
So
let's
y'all-
name them off. Going back to the
I mean, I can't,
age-old tradition.
I can name a few if I was asked to name
Let me
one.
ask you a question.
Sure, go ahead.
Did you take your horse down the Old Town Road?
Are you really saying voting is like an old? Are you jumping?
Did you
wait
ride
wait
him
a
till you
minute?
couldn't no more
I see what's going on here, Mr.
to
Millennial.
vote for your alderman?
Mr. Millennial wants all voting to be done on Twitter or Facebook. No, not even Facebook. That's not cool enough. Either Instagram, Snapchat, or Twitter will be Lee's new election. He's like, dude, man, going to the polls. That's so like 1994, bro. Like we're voting on Twitter, man. We got hashtag vote this dude in.
Listen, I understand you want your vote to be in a paperless trail machine so that the politicians can change it. I get that. I understand.
So what do you want?
I understand.
You want social media polls?
Listen, I think that every American should have a unique voting hash in which they register their vote, and at any time they can go check what that hash is, and that hash is automatically tallied up online and at any point can be seen, and if it ever changes, that number ticks, and then you can go use your key to see what your vote still is to this day, and if it ever changes, you can call shenanigans.
Where are you getting the money for this?
Where are we getting the money? Okay, I'll tell you.
Expensive program.
Okay,
This would
for
cost.
starters,
Okay.
we can actually start with a corporate tax so that corporations that make billions of dollars
Okay.
pay more in taxes than us three at this table did. How's that for a start?
Okay.
Second off, we can reform healthcare.
Okay.
I think that's a real
So
easy one.
so we got to do all these things before we get to the voting thing.
Dude, how much do you think we pay for voting already?
Lee, that's like
Do
saying.
you think not thinking bringing it online would make it easier?
Here's Lee's idea. He's like, we're going to build the Great Wall in China. How are you going to do that? I'm going to go buy one brick a day.
Dude, how
For
much-
3 years.
okay, let me
Like, well,
ask you-
You're still
okay.
going to be short, brother. I
How
mean,
much does a modern fighter jet cost that can land on an aircraft carrier and deliver nuclear powered warheads to the Middle East in minutes notice?
So this is
How much does that
okay,
cost?
So this is price right. So me versus John. John, why don't you go ahead and go first on your bid? Let's see what you got.
900,000.
Oh, well,
no,
I'm going to say 900,001. Because
Yeah, okay.
obviously,
David is right.
hold on, I'm going to guess for real. A fighter jet, I would say about $65 million. Would I be in the ballpark there?
I think it's probably. I mean, there's different fighter jets. I would say like 30. How's that? 30
Okay,
million.
I mean, yeah, that's fine. I mean, just I
It's
know
probably closer to $1 billion.
more than 900,000, John. I mean, wow.
$11.5 billion contract for 141 F-35.
141, so
140. So what's 11.5 billion divided by 141? I mean,
I
it's,
think David's probably closest.
okay, Google. What is 11.5 billion divided by 141? All right, here we go.
Is it 800,000?
The
800
answer
million?
is 8.15603 times 10 to the power of 7.
So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 6.
80.
Oh, yeah,
I guess we're not very good at math.
$81 million. A plane.
Okay, there you
So
go.
that's
I
pretty
won.
close. I said 65.
Oh, yeah, you did. That's right.
So yeah, okay. So anyway, so your point is jets are expensive. Go ahead.
So, do you not think that we could maybe do without one jet? Maybe.
I don't work in the defense.
Maybe.
Field, so I mean,
I'll tell you what. You give me $60 million, I will build you that system, and it will be
and
solid.
you'll run it. So everyone's gonna. Is it like internet based? So everyone.
Yes.
Well, not everyone has the internet. So
we'll,
you've already.
we'll open stations where people can come in and use the internet
Oh, so-
on voting day.
Wait, so you'll have stations where people come in to vote on voting day. Well, you know, that'd be a weird thing. Like if that happened
Yeah,
today,
like
that would
if
be
it-
kind of crazy, John. Wouldn't it? Like if there was a place where you would go to a machine and register your vote. That is a weird concept.
But we're saying the same thing. You don't understand.
No, yeah, we are saying
we're,
the same
we're saying the
thing.
same. It would be available just like it is now. Like why are you making fun of that idea? I don't understand. That's silly. Because obviously you want to get a horse, mount it up, go down, hang out the courthouse
The chat's blowing up. You got
with your other people.
saying online it's too hackable. Rusty says not really. Then it says Aquafina's in
not.
the chat tonight. It said it's able to be
hot.
manipulated anywhere except closed networks. To be honest, Rusty says, I've got a security degree in IT. If you do it correct, if you don't.
The man, listen to Rusty. Rusty
Well,
knows.
he didn't. Well, hold on, I'm going to read the exact.
Rusty
he
knows
says,
what he's
I've got
doing.
a security degree in IT. If you don't correctly, it's not. So
Everyone
he doesn't
has
know
a
how to-
hash. You can get your vote at any time. You could even open source code the platform, and then anyone can see the code.
Who's going?
Okay?
Who's
anyone
doing,
can
wait,
see
who's
the
doing
code.
this? Who's doing? So the government's
Give
gonna,
me the $60 million. I will do
Well,
it.
you got to bid for it. So it's going to go to
Okay.
the lowest bidder. That's how government works. That's how government works. And then it'll be a flawed system. And then people like you be going, there's collusion in Russia again with Donald Trump Jr. Oh,
So
with
the
Barron.
current system
Barron
where there's no
Jr.
paper trail and no one knows that it's not being manipulated is better, because why even put in the effort to make something better? That's what you're saying.
brother,
why make something better?
I ask you where you going to get the dough from. We can
I
all
told you. You want more?
Here, John,
Let's tax
here we
you.
go.
Let's just
Ready?
let's garnish your wages for the next year.
This
How's
is Lee's.
that?
Right. Imagine there was no heaven. He's like, oh, that's great, man. Right.
Where do we get the money for the current voting system?
He's like, write this down. Imagine if you try. No voting polls to go to.
Listen. Where do we get the money
Only
for?
votes in the cloud of the sky.
Where do we get the money for anything now?
I don't know.
How about we use that
Making it
money?
up.
How about we use that
Just
money?
making it up?
What about, here's an idea. What if we don't fly Donald Trump's entourage around for like a month, and then we'll have the money to put into the voting
This is turned
system?
into your new government you're
You
forming.
really think that the vote, like reforming the voting, doesn't have money? That's just foolish. It just makes you look foolish.
Kids, get out and vote. Regardless of whatever Lee tells you. Get
I
out
agree.
there and vote.
Get out and vote. Because if you
I mean,
live
he
in-
does, these two don't. But hey, get out. You get out. These are the examples of like, do as I say, not as I do. He voted in a council member election. Okay.
You voted in an alderman for Spring Hill.
That's where I live, yeah.
Okay. So
what's the gig? Are
What's
you
the
insulting?
gig?
What, are you insulting me or something? I don't understand.
I just think like maybe you
Oh,
guys
no, you care about your home.
I know.
maybe you guys should like not use outhouses or something, like get some indoor plumbing.
We do have that. I know it's a faraway place for you, but
Yeah.
there's probably more outhouses here in the Davidson County area than Williamson County for sure, my friend.
What?
Do you
I
know
don't know.
Williamson County? You're nuts. All right. Anyways, I voted.
Anyway,
that's all.
I'm glad that you voted for your elder. You're gonna share who you voted? Was it like a tight race? Did Jim Bob or Cooter win?
I mean, a few of them were uncontested, to be honest with you. But look,
No.
but two of them weren't. And the guy actually. So I was at home on. I was
Your vote matters, people.
I was at home on Monday. No, there was two or three that were actually vote. And a guy came to my house on Tuesday. There was a knock at the door, and I went, "Who is this?" I was like, "This is weird." Because
Did one of those aldermen know what an alderman was?
someone probably did not. Well,
Was one of them?
there's two great stories. So first, the guy came. This ain't a great story, but the dude came to my door, and he's like, "Hey, I'm Mr. Allen." I forget his first name. He goes, "I'm Allen, and
Barry?
I'm running." Yeah, Barry Allen. It's a flash. Everybody.
Was he like he couldn't win vice mayor of Nashville, so he moved
was
to
him.
Spring Hill?
But we had a talk, and I appreciated he stopped by, because I was like, honestly, I do look it up before I go vote. I said, I'm glad you come here. I said, so what are you going to do for the city? What are some key points you want? And he gave me some answers. He was an engineer. He had some engineering issues, infrastructure. And
He's
I was
going to
like,
build more outhouses?
yes, sir. And so
Yes, sir.
I
More
looked at him,
stables.
I said, honestly, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to vote for you because you're the only candidate I've seen come around. And I like the fact you're an engineer. I like it. So when I go vote.
Okay, this is what I really want to know.
Yeah.
How long is the term?
Alderman.
Yeah.
It must be I believe it's every 4 years, I believe.
What is it going to take for you to run
No.
2023? Alderman
A lot
David.
of money.
You
But-
could go door to door, tell people you're an engineer. I mean, you're good at BSing. Like any question
yeah,
they throw
you're
at you,
right.
just come be like, "We gonna get your kids.
Okay.
We gonna educate them.
We're
gonna
going to
put more
build
money in your
separate
pocket."
bathrooms for me.
I do like that. Okay.
What's it gonna take for Alderman
We'll
David
see. Let's-
2023?
If we're doing the podcast, then we'll talk about it. Look, so this other candidate was online on Facebook group, which you already know was a bad idea. Like, you do not engage with people on Facebook, okay? And this guy started like trashing all the people that were asking him questions, and the whole I Heart Spring Hill group I'm in, and it's like most of Spring Hill was like, "You're done, dude.
There's
You're
dozens
trash."
of us. You're done.
So that guy, that can show you, if you're a candidate, you can't be a
Keep your
jerk.
nose clean.
I mean, come on, you can't be engaged in flame wars on Facebook groups. What are you thinking? You're not ready for the big time, brother.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
get out
I
and
hear
vote,
you.
kids. Get out and vote.
Get out
Okay.
and vote.
All right. Well, we got some stories to hit this week. Some good ones. We're going to be talking about a possible. We're talking about labels today. What are labels? Why are we putting labels on people? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's what we do as society. We're talking about before. What is WrestleMania? Is it action? It's sports. We looked it up on IMDb. It's action, so it's no big deal. So
It reminds
we're
me
looking
a
at the
lot
story right
of
here. We're going to move
Die
forward.
Hard. When I watch WrestleMania,
Yeah, I do
which
too.
I don't,
Yeah.
I think that I'm watching Die Hard every time.
Right, because
And then someone walks in and goes, "You're watching WrestleMania." And I look surprised. And I'm like, I thought this was Die Hard.
here you go. So Die Hard follows a simple structure: introduce the character, show the character traits, have the bad guy get the upper hand on him, and then at the end, the good guy wins. It's funny because WrestleMania had 3 distinct storylines that followed that template to a
Pitch.
perfect degree.
I literally thought I was watching Die Hard 1, Die Hard 2,
Good.
and Die Hard 3 with a female cast, though.
So you watched
It was
WrestleMania?
interesting.
What was your favorite match?
I did not.
Oh, okay.
I did
Because I
not.
thought you said you did just watch it.
Yes,
So
I did say that I
So
did.
that was a lie.
So you're known to be a liar, so you can't be trusted. Okay, here's the story right here. Have you heard of Lil Nas X? Have you ever heard of him, John?
Nope.
It's a lot going on in the name. Lee, have you heard of Lil
Of
Nas
course,
X?
I've heard of Lil Nas X.
From what?
The freaking Old Town Road song. I literally dropped the lyrics earlier
Okay.
as a callback to this story, and it just went straight over your head. No segue, nothing.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I've heard the song. I don't.
That's how much
Okay,
I
so-
know the song. I know the lyrics to
So
the song.
let's talk about the music. Have you heard the song then?
I have.
Okay. So how would you describe? Now this song is done. This is a black artist, Lil Nas X. That artist. We use that subjectively because
Loosely.
he really wasn't an artist before. I guess he wrote this song.
He was just he was Nas X, and
Yeah.
then he became Little
So
Nas
he was like
X.
just a social media guy, and people said, "Hey, you should write a song." So he wrote this song, and it's called "Old Town Road," and it has gone #1 to Billboard like for a while now. It is going out of control how many people. And if you listen to the song, which we can't do because YouTube would block us indefinitely, assholes, but it starts with a ukulele and like a trap beat, okay, and then it goes into, it's kind of a trap beat, but it's got country.
Yeah,
What
it's
are
definitely.
some lyrics? Give us
I
some
feel
lyrics.
I feel like there's a rap part in it. Although my
Okay, give us some
friend
lyrics.
of the show, Bobby Joe, disagrees with me. He says it's not rap at all.
Okay.
I'm going to take my horse to the Old Town Road. I'm going to ride till I can't ride no more.
Yeah.
And then you repeat that. And that's
Yeah.
your
Yep.
chorus.
I got the horses in the back. Horse tack is attached. Hat is matte black. Got the boots. It's black to match. I mean, if you just read those lyrics, you would say it's a country song, right? I mean, it's,
I definitely feel like he's rapping in the verse for
okay.
sure.
Well, that's fine. And there's many country artists today that rap in
Right.
the verse. Florida Georgia Line would be another example.
Right, definitely.
Of,
So the controversy here is that it started hitting the Billboard top 10, right? Top 10?
number one.
Number 1 on the Billboard country. And then the good old boys got together and said, "Oh, hell nah. You're gone." They kicked him. They said, "Your song is not country enough.
yeah.
You're off the Billboard chart for country."
And so then Billy Ray Cyrus gets word of this. Billy Ray Cyrus now. We're talking achy breaky heart Billy Ray Cyrus.
Miley Cyrus's father.
I'll say achy break your heart, but yeah, sure. For the for the millennials you're carrying on your back, you're right. That would be Miley Cyrus's father. Very good. And so he did a remix of it where now he's rapping in it,
Right.
but it's like country style rapping.
And he does the verse too.
Right. So now there's still, I haven't heard any word yet, but they're still not allowing on the country music artists. Now, I know we used to talk about race all the time, but we got to talk, like, there's no other reason this man's not on the country chart because he's black, right? Like,
Right.
Can you
I
think
mean,
of another
if
reason?
you really think that the Country Music Association doesn't have a bunch of racist a-holes in it, then, I mean, I don't know for sure, but I've read some stuff, right?
Okay.
It's like a good old boys club. They don't want they don't actually want.
So what do they want? What do they want? What do they want?
They have a look that they want.
Right.
And it's primarily white. Let's be
FGL,
honest.
FGL,
Right.
Luke Bryan,
Yes.
who's some other ones, John? Shoot, the guys on
Darius
the voice.
Rucker, Cowboy Troy.
So you've named,
Oh, you mean? Oh, no. You
yeah.
mean-
So if I play a game and go, you're not allowed to say Charlie Pride or Darius Rucker. You just named another one though. Could you name 3 black country music artists?
There's only been 4 on the Billboard country chart, and
Okay.
one of them has been removed. So that's a 25% removal rate.
Can you name the other one? Do you know who it is, John? Can you name me another black besides Cowboy Troy? I mean, yeah, sure, I guess that counts, but could you? Honestly, you can't, right?
Well, probably not.
I mean, Ray Charles.
I don't
mean,
think he's on the country.
I think he was actually.
Yeah, he was.
really?
Yeah,
Oh.
that was considered country back in the day. But they don't have a long-standing history with the black man. And this is what when we talk about racism, you know, people want to sit around talking about the guy that burned the black churches down. And we know that's blatant racism. We can look at the guy and go, oh, he's a racist. He burned a black church down. He doesn't like black people, blah, blah, blah. This is the stuff I'm talking about, though, that needs to be fixed if we're going to really move forward with race relations. This is a whole genre of music that...
Did they go into detail why they removed it?
They said it didn't have enough country elements in it. So that's
Well,
why that's why Billy Ray.
What is country elements?
I mean, I'm sure they probably did at some
I don't
point,
think they
but
did.
that's beside the point. Like, it obviously it has country elements to it. The genre is very like close to what you would expect in a country music song, singing about riding horses and maintaining them and stuff, right? And that's why Billy Ray came in. He's like, all right, we're going to make this thing country, and then let's see what they say. And now they're still saying, sorry, it's still not country enough.
I mean, I haven't heard the song, but I'm guessing it's in the vein of Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy.
No, it's like, it's just like a country song with rap in it.
That is a country song with rap in it.
But no, that's a completely different.
I mean, I'm guessing. I don't know.
All right. Well,
So here's what people listening, if you have not listened to it, it's Lil Nas X, and it's called Old Country Road. Go listen to it, and then I want you people to let us know, should it be a country song? And maybe people disagree. Maybe some people are like, no, it's a rap tong. I'm sure rap tong. It's a rap song. I bet if you went to the streets of Nashville, though, I think a lot of people would go, oh, that ain't country. That's not my country. You know, I mean, you're right. There's some racist white people.
But then you'd have to push them. Like, why? Why is that not your?
Because he's a man of color.
Okay, well, if they did that, you would know that
John,
their opinion doesn't matter.
We've met people that bold, yes or no?
Yes,
okay.
we have.
Yeah, we still know them today. Yes.
That argument doesn't represent what we're trying to get out of though.
There are people, and that's probably, I would imagine, one of the reasons it was removed from the Billboard. But here's the problem with Lil Nas X. Look him up on any streaming service. Okay. He has one song. It's not a very long song.
Yeah.
So he announced on Twitter he was dropping his debut album. You'll never guess the name of the album.
Old Town
Road.
I'm sorry.
Okay, let me read the song track here. My friend read me this, and I thought he was memeing. And this is not a meme. This is real.
So it opens with obviously Old Town Road.
It obviously opens with Old Town Road. Right. You can guess the second verse, the second song.
Oh, the
remix with Billy Ray.
Okay.
The third one is Old Town Road, bass boosted.
Oh, wow. Okay. I want to hear
Number
that.
4, Old Town Road, Young Thug mix.
Okay. There we
remix.
Go. Yeah. Remix.
Number 5, the Old Town Road interlude.
Oh, yeah.
Number 6, the Old Town Road 10-hour loop.
That's really on there?
Number 7, the Old Town Road acapella. There you go.
Well, there we go. I mean, hey, it always said
art.
They say he's got one trick, but it's a very good trick. So it's better to be a one-trick pony than a no-trick pony.
This man's riding a horse, okay? But here's the thing.
That's why I said pony.
This song is blowing up. People love it. Obviously, a lot of people don't like it, but a lot of people, Jason Steen in the chat said, I love it. I have friends that he says, I have to listen to the song every 15 minutes. He has a timer, and every 15 minutes he plays it. That's how obsessed he is. So, like, it's obviously connecting with people. Would you want that to be your song?
Yes.
You would only have one song, release it.
Yes.
Just take the money and run.
Yes, 100%. Yes.
John?
Yes.
I haven't even heard the song.
It doesn't matter. If you could have, like, one song, or you could have a, you know,
you could have
a mediocre career.
One massive major hit that'll be a hit forever. Or you can just kind of be in the middle of your entire career and never have a big hit. Which one would you pick? That's really the question.
Oh, yeah, I'd take the one song.
Okay, thank you. From the chat. Says, Lee is going to be apologizing for calling the country boys racist. And Rusty says, no apologies needed. Country boys are racist. So that's from Rusty.
It's a bold statement. Let's see if it pays off, Cotton.
It's good old boys are racist. And basically saying they're getting into PC stuff. So anyway, I just want to touch on that. It's a hot story. So you said it's country.
Definitely like obviously the Billy Ray version.
Okay.
I don't really care. Like, here's the thing. The Billboard country chart is trash anyway, right?
Well,
who cares? Like, they should be happy that such a popular song is on their Billboard chart.
No. But it's more about the institutional racism that's in this
I mean, that
story.
is horrible. So I'm happy this song exists. I do think it should be there just to rub it in their face and say, no, you're not allowed to do that because you're doing it because of race.
But is it a traditional? Is it a country? Would
Dude,
it be
the guy's
would it be
like
like WrestleMania? Would it be two genres? Yes.
The guy is selling out. He's like he's touring rodeos. Like he goes to rodeos and people want to hear it.
All right.
What's more country than a rodeo?
Lil Nas X, when you listen to this, we support you, brother. We're down with it.
100%.
Tell us what we can do to
Call
get you
me.
on the good thing. All right. Now we got a label put on here. This is whichever one you want to go to. You want to go to the hero or the criminal?
We'll close it off with the hero.
Such strong words. Yeah. Let's go criminal. If you know,
which
Aunt
one?
Becky, Lori Laughlin.
Okay.
Looks like she's going to be doing some hard actual time. I don't know. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. She paid some people, bribed officials to get her kids into school, and now they're coming after her for this, for essentially a white collar crime, a crime of white privilege, and looking like she may be getting up to 5 years in prison, and that is time she will serve. The judge says, Lee, out of base, on point, or what? I mean,
it is obvious that they are trying to make an example of this woman.
Okay.
I don't feel like that's ever appropriate. I feel like our justice system should be blind.
Yeah.
It should be free of vengeance. If she did the crime, then there's no need to make an example out of her. Sure, she has to be accountable for what she did. What she did was horrible.
Yeah.
But if they're going to put this woman in prison for 5 years, that's a precedent where everyone that commits that crime has to be treated equally.
You
right?
would hope, but it never works.
But that's not the way it is. So for this particular instance, I'm saying this is horrible.
So don't put Aunt Becky in jail. I mean,
what would be the normal? Obviously, if they can put her in jail for 5 years, what is the
what's the payout?
What's the crime she committed?
It's the same thing. If your kid pees on the carpet, yeah, you can put his face in the carpet and rub it all in it like John would, or you can talk to him and sit down. And she's already lost her job over this.
She doesn't need a job,
but she lost her job on Hallmark. I mean, she's already suffered.
Loaded.
I mean, I guess. I mean, her husband's loaded, and he's looking at time too, which no one's talking about. But that's because she's from Full House and everything. John, is she a criminal or not? I mean,
she broke the law, so yeah.
So that's a criminal. Do you break the law once you're labeled a criminal? You got to break it multiple times.
I mean, I believe that yes, she should be punished.
John, are you a criminal? If that's the case,
yeah.
Oh,
smooth criminal. I'm a smooth criminal.
Okay, so one time, because those street preachers always come up to you and they go, "You're gonna go to hell." You know why? Because you're a liar. And you go, "No, I'm not a liar." They go, "Have you ever told a lie before?" I'm like, "Well, yeah." And they go, "That makes you a liar." And I'm like, and now I'm gonna go, "No, actually, that doesn't make you a liar. Just because you do something one time doesn't make you that thing." Like, okay,
how many times?
I would say
habitual.
A habitual liar, as a friend we used to have. I would
you're
call
a
them a
reformed
liar.
liar.
Yeah, I mean, you're just someone that lies occasionally. Just because you go gamble once in a while,
you're a social liar.
Well, I mean, just because you gamble once or twice a year doesn't make you a gambler. Would you call yourself a gambler? Like, I'm a gambler. No, it's like, dude, you go gamble.
Well, I mean, look at like smoking. Okay. You know, if you picked up a cigarette once, you're not a smoker.
There you go. But if you smoke every day with regularity, yes, you're a smoker. So I would agree with that.
Smoke so good.
So you say time, she will do time, or she
I think
won't do
that
time?
Our justice system should not make examples of people. I think that there should be precedent. If not, it should be a logical punishment that meets the crime. And in this particular instance, I feel like she's being treated unfairly just because she's famous. But at the same time, it's hard for me to feel a lot of empathy for somebody that used their money and power to, give their kids a better life. So I'm torn in that regard. But yeah, our justice system should be blind.
Okay.
So I think she's being treated a bit unfairly.
Will she serve time?
Probably not.
John,
I don't think she will.
I don't know. I think she is going to serve some time. I thought from the story I read, she thought she wasn't going to serve time, and now they're going, no, I think you're going to serve time. Whether it be 6 months to a year, we'll see about that. So anyway, I just want to touch base on that and just, see what people thought about. Chat's not happy with her. They don't like her daughter. They don't, my thing is always, as a society, we're biased toward attractive people. It's a fact. Someone could write a thesis on. I'm sure they have. She's very attractive. I think that will factor.
Give her the pass because she's attractive.
I would give her. Yeah, I would.
You'd be like, baby, bring your kids over to my house.
I'm just telling you what I would do. I'm telling you what David's all about, and that's the truth. So there we go. All right, let's talk about someone that is probably going to be doing time for sure. And this is Lee's boy right here. Like, we talk about, Lee's got the holy trinity of people in his life. Okay?
How did this become my boy?
He's got Alex Jones, LeBron James, and now Julian Assange is like his when you talk about.
What, no Hillary Clinton in there? Are you sure? No Bill Clinton in there?
We know you're a misogynist. You wouldn't put a woman on your list. Okay, so tell us about Julian Assange and what he's about.
You tell me. You obviously know way more about him and all the
He's
conversations.
your boy. You love WikiLeaks.
Look, this is what I heard. That obviously, okay, Julian Assange was in charge of WikiLeaks. He was wanted by several countries for basically leaking confidential information.
America is
a big player. America's definitely the number one in the reticles.
All
so
right.
he fled to a foreign country and hid in an Ecuadorian embassy since 2012. And evidently, like, things have been getting a little dicey down at the embassy, you know. I think you told me they were like, okay, Julian, like, just don't do anything political. Like, you can stay here. You know, we don't want you to be given over to the Americans. Just don't do anything political. And he was like, no. But the craziest thing I heard today was that the man was taking poop and rubbing it on the walls. Now, that's a man who's broken, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's been stuck there for, 5 years? In a room? Like,
I think it's since 2012, right?
Okay, so
like
7 years. Can you imagine being stuck in a small room? I mean, you would probably lose your mind. It said he's got tooth pain. He's not allowed to go see a dentist or anything.
I mean,
he's had a lot of chronic pain. He's just, it's almost like he's like, get me out of here. You know, like, whatever you got to do to get me, like, we've all had tooth pain. Like, I'm going to tell you what, if I was in that house where I had extradition.
You'd be like that movie with Tom Hanks in it. You'd be looking for a ice skate or whatever.
Either that or I'd run straight out the straight door and go, book me and take me to America where they got, or wherever, he's from Australia, but take me somewhere and get this fixed right now. I don't care if I have to go to
Would you try like some dental floss on a door where you tie it and then like slam the door?
No. What? I mean, I guess no. I would just run out and just go, I surrender. I'd be waving the flag with my little folder of WikiLeaks.
You wouldn't even try, huh?
He should just tell him, if you put charges on me, I'm going to release all of the WikiLeaks.
Well, why doesn't he just release it anyway? Why is this guy holding on to it?
For the reasons like this, probably.
This is so dumb. That's what pisses me off about this guy. He's like, I've got all this information. It's like, it must not be that juicy.
Lee, when you are backed up against the wall and you still have leverage, you do not give up your leverage, okay? You just don't start going, here's everything, guys, come kill me. You know, hit this guy be dead if he gives it all up. You got to hold on to that. It's weird that Jason Steen and Rusty Greer in the chat, who are politically on opposite sides of the spectrum, both threw up the Free Julian tag. What do you think? Should we free this man?
I think so. What crime is he guilty of?
Being a patriot? Exposing government dirt?
I don't think that's against the law.
I'm with them. Free him. John, what do you think? You're solidly different than us.
I don't know enough about this guy. I don't know.
Well, there are some like rape charges, some molestation charges against him. He claims that they're fabricated.
I believe they're fabricated.
He says that they're fabricated. I've heard both sides. I think some people think that he's a horrible person, is actually like egotistical, a-hole, womanizing.
We're not throwing Dave in jail.
Right, yeah. That could be me you're describing right there.
But
okay,
yeah, like
John, I'm going to give John a crash course. Okay, so basically the government was doing things they shouldn't be doing. They killed some civilians, and Chelsea Manning, you remember talking about her. She was in the military. She downloaded a bunch of information. It's confidential. She gave it to Julian Assange. He released it. The government was upset about that. Then he released some more things about things they shouldn't have been doing. And so now the government's like, well, you're basically you're committing treason against us. So that's where, and exposed basically government cover up and government incompetence is what I mean. That's the best way to put it.
I used to thought WikiLeaks was like a good actor, but there's a lot of stuff that came out, and he's obviously playing the field. There's echoes of collusion with Russia for playing the Hillary Clinton versus Donald Trump and all this, and like selectively leaking material based upon his political preference. And after I heard that made me a little uneasy. Like, if you're going to be a whistleblower, if you're going to be a harbor for data that should be exposed to the public, and that's what I was saying earlier, you can't have political bias. You have to just, this is the facts. These are the documents. I need this to be exposed. And I feel like when he lost that trust, he was done. Like, if he had come out the gate as a Puritan, like, freedom of information, this is things horrible people have done, I'm not holding leverage on anyone, I think he would have came out. He wouldn't have had to been in there with that toothache, and he'd have been just fine.
He's a weirdo. Okay, so we're just gonna boil it down to traitor or hero.
Traitor, hero?
No, you can only pick one.
All right, I'll listen to you guys first.
Oh, hero, John.
Selfish hero.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you
I'm
go.
sticking with traitor, hero. I don't know.
Well, he can't do that. So I
It's
mean,
like,
just pick one and let's move on.
He's like Patrick Swayze in Red Dawn. I don't
Selfish
know.
hero is the best thing you could probably say. I mean, even though he's an ass, he still did some good. So I don't know. All
I
right.
mean, he obviously did it for self-gain.
Oh, for sure.
Well, I mean, I think like the big thing is, and you mentioned this earlier, is those documents reveal some crazy, like reporters getting murdered.
our government killing our own civilians.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's,
So I mean, that's like,
whew.
if you saw that, would you grab it
I don't
and
know.
report it?
Probably not, honestly. Probably, if you're just being honest with me, no.
So
Do I
let's
want to
just
live
go around
this?
the table?
Okay.
David,
No.
traitor or hero?
Oh, David, in that situation,
Traitor.
keeping his damn job, That's not going to prison. John,
I got to be with my family, so yeah, I wouldn't report it.
Lee.
I think I would figure out a way to do it and not get caught.
Oh, come.
That's probably what he tried to do.
Come on,
Well,
bro.
Julian Assange just took the data and disseminated. It was Bradley Manning that, or what's the new name? Chelsea. Chelsea
Yeah.
Chelsea Manning that really exposed themselves on the line, right? Like pretending they were listening to Britney Spears with the CD. They still traced it back to him, though.
All right, well,
Anyway.
there we go. All right, well, Julian Assange, we'll definitely, we'll stay tuned to this because more is going to happen very soon. Be curious to see how Donald Trump reacts to this, since he quoted WikiLeaks in every speech he gave, and now he's acting like he's never heard of it. It's
Just
very,
some 300-pound kid on a
yep,
bed
on a
hacking.
bed. Yep,
Yeah,
hacking away. All right,
hacking away.
all right. So, do we have enough time tonight for
Yeah,
you, John?
it's a speed round. This is a
Okay.
speed round.
So you got 30 seconds to give advice, okay? So we're going to go ahead and hit the music, and then we're going to see what happens. Here we go. All right, so Lee's going to read it. John's going to give his advice. We're gonna move past it. Go.
This one comes in. Dear John, my son-in-law gave me a tablet that he was not using as he had upgraded. He removed most of his information. When I went to set up my accounts, I noticed his list of apps and passwords was still present and saw 4 accounts to an adult dating site. My daughter and sister-in-law have been together, married for 4 years. Son-in-law, sorry. The tablet is less than 2 years old. I don't know what to do. Should I, 1, act like I never saw it? 2, tell him what I found and hope for a good explanation? Or 3, tell my daughter, this will destroy her. Help me from devastated.
All right, John. Kick it.
If their marriage looks happy, keep your mouth shut. Let it roll.
Oh, my God. That is Dear John. Oh, man. I can't even get that. That take was so hot, the music's not even playing. I don't know what's happening right now. All right, wait a minute. What's happening? I don't know, man. The
doesn't
music's really not playing. Okay, anyway, that's it. That was your Dear John. If it looks good, get away. Okay. All right, well, write us. If you want to get us some advice, just write us at advice@blameyourbro.com or hit us up on social media, and John will try to help you out. So, all right, well, I guess we've come up to the end of another episode. Somehow John's takes have broken my computer, which is news. So we ask ourselves, who's to blame for this week's episode? Lee, who's to blame?
I don't know. I would say John because his analogies are bad.
I mean, the piss in the carpet owns it all. And then attempted murder of a child, joking or not, John.
I say we blame my nephew for this episode.
Oh, okay.
Congratulations, John. You are the person to blame.
You are the weakest link.
You are the brother.
All right, well, there we go. John's to blame for this episode 137. Hopefully you enjoyed it. You can go check us out on the web at blameyourbro.com. It's got all the great things you need on it. All the past episodes, articles by Adam Cox, our head writer, who writes about pop culture, movies, TV. You'll love it. All of our social media links are there. Hit those up. Every way to subscribe to the podcast. There's an Amazon link. If you buy things on Amazon, click on that link before you do it. Helps out the show more than you know. So please do that if you can. If you want to buy one of the shirts, link right there to take you straight to the shirts. A lot of people have been buying them, so that's good. We'd like to see that. And we're streamed every Thursday on Radio Vegas Rocks. But this week was great because now we're on another. Did you know we're on another network?
Crew Talk.
What?
Yes. This week we submitted our request to go to a network that I am still learning the name of, so I'm going to find it here in just a second. But yeah, we got picked up. We're going to be airing, I know it's Friday nights at 10:30 p.m. So we'll release this episode Friday morning. But if you miss it, you can go to, it's called Coming Right Up. ComingRightUp.org is a network of podcasts, political shows, comedy shows, things like that. So ComingRightUp.org, we're part of the Coming Right Up network. We love it. Fridays, 10:30 p.m. So if you miss it in the morning, you want to go at night, have a little drink, smoke a little smoke, whatever you want to do, go in there, listen to us, and tell them you heard about it.
And we'd fall into the action show genre?
Yes, action show genre. That's what they got us under, so I appreciate that. So that's right. Radio Vegas Rocks and Coming Right Up. We're proud to be members of both of those, so go check those out. Show them some love. And if you want to send us an email or voicemail, you go blameyourbro.com. It's on there. You can do it. You can put any email you want on it. I do want to give a shout out. I listened to another podcast called The Champagne Way. And because of John has inspired them to start a deer, John, they're going to call it Deer Bubbles. So, John, you helped inspire another podcast to give out advice. So.
They need to break off a little something for that.
Hey, talk to them. They listen. How much are you asking for? How much is that carpet going to cost? All right. So, we dig a lot of other podcasts. So, I'm glad to see that in a good way, we're kind of rubbing off on people. And they were voted second best podcast in Nashville. So, I told them they'll probably give better advice than you do. But, that's like saying
Bubbles.
People breathe air. So, all right. Well, I guess that is the end of the show. Please tell your friends about us. Rate, review the show. Share it. Do everything. We got bumper stickers. Message us if you want one of them. And with that being said, Lee, is there anything else?
Don't blame yourself when you can blame your brother.
Sorry?
This must never be seen by anyone.
You want me to play it again?
Has anybody seen this?
Nobody has seen this.
They have to be found and talked to.